Hey, what's up? It's Travis Johnson. It's Sunday night. It's another episode of Hoodie Talk. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to make some people mad tonight. Because what I want to talk about is hip hop. When the fuck are we going to grow up and stop admiring drug dealers and killers? I'm going to find out what's really good. Oh, yeah, here we go. Like I told you, I'm going to make some people hate me tonight, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. So first thing I want to do is offer a disclaimer. I'm going to include myself in a lot of these conversations. So a lot of these things, I'm going to say we, all right? And that's how I'm going to kind of bring us into the conversation. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm born and raised in New York City. I lived in Queens. I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Harlem. So I moved around a little bit. So I get it. I understand. I'm first generation hip hop. I'll be 56 years old this year. So I understand where everybody is coming from. As a matter of fact, when I was in Queens in probably in the heyday of the Supreme Team. I went to August Martin. August Martin, for those of you that don't know, is right across the street from Baisley Park. Sits across the street from the pond. We used to sneak over to that pond and smoke and things like that and chill and talk to chicks, right? But on the other side of the park is Baisley Projects. So I started high school in September 1983. So think about what South Jamaica, what Baisley Projects, what Supreme Team, and these things looked like in 83, 84, and then in 85, obviously Supreme would go to jail. He would go to prison, right? He would get his first, I believe that was his first sentence, right? But so I understand. I was around. I know Grandmaster Vic used to rock that. He used to rock that joint for the Supreme Team. Y'all remember? Those of y'all that went to y'all do 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 do. 50 remade the joint. That joint right there used to rock in every party, especially a party that was going down in Jamaica. I don't care where you was at in Queens, that the Grandmaster Vic tapes were rocking, but especially if you were on the South Side. I remember coming out of high school and seeing Bimmy and Black Just and all of these dudes and Prince and all of these dudes outside in front in Porsches and BMWs and things like that. And picking up shorties, picking up younger dudes that was going to work at the time. So I understand. I was there, right? I get it. I had a short career doing similar activity. So I get it. And this is sort of what my point is. We're talking 1983. We're talking the 90s and things like that. We were all kids. So of course, as younger guys in the neighborhood, we looked up to guys like Prince and Supreme and Tommy Montana from Laurelton and Alpo and AZ and all of these guys. And guys in other states, guys and girls in other states looked up to guys like Rayful and Big U and there was several and Trick and there was several different guys like these all from neighborhood to neighborhood all around the country. I get it. Was there. I have the wounds to prove it. Trust me. But that's what this video is about. This video is about maturity. So let's speak about being first generation hip hop. If you're first generation hip hop, that puts you somewhere between 50s and early 60s if you're first generation hip hop. So let's get back to what the video's about. The video's about admiring drug dealers and killers. So prior to first generation hip hop people, that shit is not the move, man. My moms and pops are baby boomers. They didn't grow up worshiping in the drug dealers in the neighborhood. Y'all might see some of that shit on TV. Maybe up in Harlem, people were doing that shit for Nicky Barnes. But most black people around the country, and I say black people, I'm not trying to make this about race, but I say black people because black people would eventually start hip hop. And that's where we are now with it. This is hoodie talk. So we're talking about issues that affect hip hop. So prior to urban America, during the hip hop generation, that was not a cool thing, man. That was not a cool thing. There was probably some guys, and we hear stories about, when guys like Malcolm X, when he was, whatever he was, Minnesota, Alabama, somebody catch me in the comments and tell me, I know his name was Red, but whatever Red he was, that's not the part of his life that people admired, man. And that's not what made him legendary, man. And let's speak about legends, man. When I think about legends, I think about triumph. I think about words like that. I think about triumph and winning and gaining and building. Those are words that belong in a family of legendary. How the fuck is a drug dealer going to be legendary?
Hold on to me. Hold on to me. I am right here for you. Hold on to me. Hold on to me. Hold on to me. I am right here for you. Hold on to me. When you need a friend to lean on, you can count on me. You can count on me. When you need somewhere to run to.
The whole system of illegality, especially as it related to, I'm going to talk about in my era, which was the cocaine crack era, especially as it related to drug dealing and drug dealers. The person that was the boss was the person that was the person that was either older and manipulated the younger guys on the block, or a person that was just smarter, man. You were just a little more intelligent, man, than the next guy, man. And so it's something that's based in manipulation. So when I look at what myself here, with the we, right? Myself and others like myself and my friends did and others did around the country, we manipulated each other. So guys that were younger than me, and I put them on. So somebody put me on, and then I put somebody else. So I didn't put him on. I manipulated him. He was younger than me, and I knew I could talk to him in a way that would be attractive enough to make him bypass all the bullshit that he could get involved with for all this flashy shit over here that I was selling him. That's manipulation. That's manipulation. And that's what we did to each other as friends, as family members. Like, let's talk about it, man. Some of us manipulated our family members. Some of us manipulated our friends to join in. Right. And a lot of it led to things that none of it led to shit that was great. Nobody has the MVP trophy and is sitting on the wall. They got tombstones. They got jail and prison sentences and bullets and shit like that. That's what people got. So let's talk about let's talk about what it is, man. And the reason that I'm talking about this now, and I'm not trying to pick on certain people, and I'm not trying to ostracize or put anybody down. I'm trying to put people up. So when I bring names like Supreme and Prince into the conversation, respect to them, I'm glad that Prince is home. Gerald Prince Miller, I speak of the Supreme team. I'm happy that he's home because he's been incarcerated for a long time. And I don't know, I'm not his judge, but I don't even know if those that judged him had the evidence that was necessary to incarcerate him for that long of a period. So that alone makes me feel good that he's home. However, he's not a legend. Prince, if you're listening, man, you're not a legend. You're a guy that we're happy you're home. You're a guy that did some very fucked up things. Even if you didn't do all the things that have been alleged, you manipulated people. Some of them were your family members. That's enough. We sold poison to people. That's enough. You might not have murdered anybody, but that's enough.
Hi, I'm Talia with BGF Creative Agency. I meet a lot of people every day, but a lot of people don't know what I do. If you're an artist or a company, you need branding and management, period. At BGF Creative, we have a full media team that's here to personally assist you with everything from branding, management, marketing, promotions, everything you need to be successful on your journey. So give us a call today. We're here to keep you in the limelight for the good things and out of the limelight for your bad things.
So we have guys like that come home from prison, and we're calling them legends. We as grown men, you don't believe me? We're calling them real and authentic. They're the real. They're the authentic. You don't believe me? Watch Jadakiss. Watch a grown rapper, a grown, somewhat mature rapper, as he talks about Gerald Prince Miller.
I'm out here with the legends, man. You know what I mean?
My man,
you
right
see
here.
it, man. OG Prince, man. One of the most solid individuals ever touched the universe.
Jadakiss, all due respect, I am a fan, brother. I am a fan. You went to, and this is no slight, I wish I'd gone to private school. You went to private school. You came up in Yonkers, which Yonkers has a crazy part. We all know. But you went to private school. And I'm thinking that you may have sent your sons and your children to private school as well. Are you telling your sons that this man is the authentic and that's what you want him to follow? So why the fuck would you tell people that on camera? But I digress. We got to grow up as men, man. My point is, it was okay to speak like that and to look at these guys as stars and as great guys when we were kids. As adults, we need to say what it is. You're not legendary. You're not a celebrity for what you did. You did some fucked up shit. And you probably need to talk about that. So back to some of these guys when they come home. Why is it that when somebody comes home from prison, we in the hip hop community look at this person as if they're fucking Confucius? That's fucking ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. So we're looking at some guy who, who either was like some big drug dealer guy or some guy that killed, was a shooter out here and it's got a couple of bodies. We're looking at this guy when he comes home after doing 20 years, 30 years. We're looking at this person like as a knowledgeable person that's centered and they've got wisdom for you. Yo, that's bullshit, bro. I'm going to tell you what's true, though. I'm going to tell you what is true in all due respect. Respectfully, I'm going to tell you what's true. If a person is away for 10, 15, 20 years, how about this? 2 years, 20 years, 30 years, however amount of time, they can absolutely, if they care to, gain knowledge of self because they can become in tune with themselves. Most of us never do that, by the way, before we die. Most of us never attempt to become in tune with ourselves, but another video. So they can become very in tune with themselves. They can become very knowledgeable on certain things because we know that there's a lot of reading done. We know that there's access to internet. However, let me tell you the truth, man. That Confucius shit is not real. And it just doesn't make fucking sense. What does make sense is that if you spend 20 or 30 years in prison, you are mentally stagnated. And I'm going to tell you why. Part of learning, a great deal of learning, has to do with experience. You are not able to experience things. So guys that spend 20 years in prison, you can read about a lot of shit. You cannot practice most of the things you can read about. So therefore, you cannot successfully learn them. You may know some things in theory, but let me tell you something. I don't care whether it's Prince. I don't care whether it's Meech or any of these guys that come home. You're fucked up when you come home. Don't let these guys fool you. They are mentally fucked up. They need to learn. They need to learn. There's young children out here that are further along mentally than some of these guys that are coming home right now. And here we got people my age walking around calling these guys legends. Legends. Legendary. There is no ranking system in the motherfucking world that would have me call somebody that sold drugs for a living and went to prison for it legendary.
I'm glad you feel that way. That's why I called Pops. And you know, Pops agreed with me on the situation. He said he gonna handle that.
What? You shouldn't have done that. Because you know your father and your stepfather do not get along.
I am not calling him stepdad, so you might well stop that right now. Stop that shit.
I know damn well you ain't cuss at me. Cuss at me again. You're going to be in your new place sooner than you think. You're going to be sleeping with Elvis and moonwalking with MJ. Hell wrong with you.
Man, what you laughing at? You get slapped like a hooky in the street? Man, I'll beat
That it just ain't gonna happen. You might be a nice guy, you might be a great guy. Many of these guys are my friends. You're not legendary for selling drugs. Now let's get to the killers. So we have people going to prison, coming home from prison for murder. And I got people running around talking about free this person, free that for murder. Drug dealing is something that I'm not a prosecutor. I'm not a judge. Myself, I probably wouldn't send people to prison for selling drugs. Just probably wouldn't do it. To me, it is a crime, but it definitely has destruction written all over it of the community. But I'm not going to say it's a victimless crime. It's a crime where the sort of the victim has to participate. It's almost like prostitution. If I was a prosecutor, I wouldn't prosecute prostitution cases because it's almost like the person wanted to do it. It's not almost, they wanted to do it. I probably wouldn't hold a person criminally liable for that. If I wanted to tax them, if I was like some type of government and I wanted to tax them, I would probably do, hey, you got to give me some money, you got to tax it. But I probably wouldn't send people to prison for selling drugs or prostitution. But murder, we got guys that are going to, not to, like I said, not to pick on anybody, but Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a lot of people are screaming for his freedom. I watched his documentary. I heard him attempt to legitimize, different things that happen as far as the government and, this technicality shouldn't have happened. This was false. This was okay. But I never heard him legitimize allegedly paying for the murders of E Moneybags and Big Nose Troy. I never heard him talk about that. If somebody watched that documentary and they can tell me where he explained how the government lied on him about those two murders, just those two murders. I don't, like I said, it's not that I don't care about him being a drug dealer. It's just that I can sort of hate me if you want to. I can excuse certain things. Like I said, prostitution, I can excuse that unless there's children involved. So if you take out all the drug dealing that was involved and you take away the RICO, Supreme, didn't you still pay for two people's murders? And that's the problem that I have. That's not legendary shit to me. That's bullshit. That's fuckery. I'm not with the murder. I'm not with the murder game. But even if you are with the murder game, why you got to pay for some shit like that? I'm not a gangster. But if you're a gangster, they murder people. But then you got guys running around here paying other people to do it. And we calling them legendary. We got to stop this bullshit, man. We got to stop this bullshit, man. And hip hop, the problem with hip hop is that we're never allowed to fucking grow up. We can never grow. You can never grow up in hip hop and still be cool. Every time somebody tries to grow up, well, for the most part, a lot of times when people try to grow up in hip hop, they get demoted. They get disrespected. And that's part of the problem. And that's why a lot of people want to keep on going with that bullshit. You got guys that are, a lot of these guys, I spoke about Jadakiss, but a lot of these guys are 40 years old and 45 years old, and you're running around here looking like my son. You're running around here dressed like my son. You're talking just like him. You're saying all kind of weird shit that grown-ups don't even understand. How you 45 years old and you saying shit that grown-ups can't understand? We're not allowed to grow up. We come from the only culture where we're always trying to be like gangsters from other cultures, but they never want to be like us. Tell me one person of another race, and I'm not trying to make this racial, but I'm trying to make it real. Tell me one person of another race that ever named themselves, even when they were a criminal, that ever named themselves after a black person. You thought I froze, right? I'll be right back after this message. Most of these guys, man, they're not even as smart as me and you, man. They had an opportunity. They took the opportunity, and it worked for a certain point of time, and they paid dearly for it, man. Most drug dealers, man, they're not legends, man. They're just dumb people that probably had an opportunity to get around something that could have been good on a short-term basis and stayed in it too long and paid dearly for it, man. And most of them are broke, man. I mean, I'm not here to be in anybody's pockets. I can only report what I see, man. I hear, it is reported that Big Meech, who made millions, when it really counted too, man. This wasn't millions like back in the 50s, man. This was millions like in the late 90s, 2000s, man. And he's living in somebody's condo right now, man. He's living in somebody's condo. Kenneth Supreme McGriff had a public defender, man. He had a public defender, man. Guys like me and you have regular lawyers, man. We pay for the lawyers. This guy made all that money. Supreme Team made all of that money. All of that money. And the guy went to trial against the federal government with a public defender. You gotta fucking be shitting me. You gotta be shitting me. Show this to a young person, man. And this is when we talk about what's really good. What's really good, man, is that, not to pick on anybody, but the drug dealer stories may be good. They may be funny to hear from time to time. It may be cool to talk about a guy who was suave and debonair back in the days. But in the long run, in the marathon, that shit is corny. That shit is corny. There's no legendary status for it. And guys need to come home and not only repent, but start doing some good things. Because I got people telling me that Prince is the reason why Queens is what it is. Why is Steve Stout not the reason? Why is Hype Williams? Why is Al Roker, the Weatherman? Why are they not the stars of Queens? What's really good is that we need to grow up and realize that a lot of the stupid shit that we thought was cool when we were kids, it was bullshit, man. Some of that shit was cool shit, but a lot of the shit was bullshit. And this respecting drug dealers and thugs and killers, that was part of the bullshit. But when you grow up, you got a chance to be just that, man. Grown up. There is no way in the world that I would let Supreme McGriff or any one of these guys, Big Meech, or any one of these guys, teach my children a damn thing. So how could they be legendary? You might not like what I said. You might love what I said. But whatever you do, and however you felt, keep watching. And I'm going to keep talking. Peace.